Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for some Chelsea news. We've got another player signing that I'm a couple of days late to, but he flew apparently into London yesterday from Milan. We're talking about the man born in 2003. Can you believe that? Chelsea is signing players that are millennials. They're now like, if you're born in 2000, you could be 22, nearly 23 years old. Absolute madness. It makes me feel old, at least, at 28 years old. Before we get into any stories though, I would love to ask you to subscribe to the George Benson football channel, turn on the bell notifications, and we almost got 90,000 views on the first 6 things we learned match review of the season. So thank you guys very much for that. And be sure, if you do enjoy the news updates and you want to see me do more of them, please hit the like button on today's video. But we begin by talking about a deal, a player sale deal, that has fallen through. And it's kind of a frustrating one really, because Emerson Palmieri was very, very close to agreeing a deal with West Ham United. The reason this fell through is because, obviously, Emerson coming from Chelsea, he's used to being on decent wages, and West Ham have kind of thrown down saying, we're not going to pay what you want to be paid. The deal was worth about 13 million, plus an additional 2 million, taking the total to around 15 million from West Ham to Chelsea. The reason that things like this are annoying, not necessarily because I think Emerson has got any kind of future at Chelsea, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. We've just signed Cucurella. He came straight in for Chilwell at the weekend, looked absolutely brilliant, was one of the best players on the pitch. Chelsea have got 2 top-class left-backs at the club. You remember Lewis Hall, the youngster who broke in last season. The more Chelsea keep players like Emerson at the club who are not at the level of Cucurella and Chilwell, it hinders the development or any kind of path towards first team football for a player like Lewis Hall, but it's also the wages. Emerson's wages, they're not the biggest in the Chelsea squad, but when we still want to bring players through the door, we do need to offload players in order to lower that wage bill. And 15 million for Emerson, a player who's probably not going to ever play for Chelsea again, this is great business. If Chelsea can get this kind of fee for Emerson Palmieri, the deal to West Ham's fallen through. There's always been interest in Emerson from various different clubs in Italy. I don't think Emerson will be a Chelsea player come the end of the window. We move into story number 2. This is an interesting one regarding Christian Pulisic. I want to talk about this a fair chunk today in this video. Manchester United want to bring Christian Pulisic in on loan. Christian Pulisic is a player who undoubtedly has a lot of talent. The manager of the USMNT, the United States men's national team, that was a mouthful. I don't know why I made it even more complicated for myself. He said he wants Pulisic playing more regularly, which even though he is a regular starter and is pretty much a guaranteed starter for the USA with a World Cup coming up in November, of course, international managers want their players to be playing significantly more football. At Chelsea, with the addition of Raheem Sterling, Kai Havertz going through the middle, Mason Mount being an evident, important player in the team, Christian Pulisic's game time is going to be limited. And whether it is just off the bench, he wants to be playing minutes. Manchester United are in a state of desperation. I think there has never been a moment in the Premier League era where Manchester United have been in such a precarious state as they are right now. Christian Pulisic is an attacking player who would walk in currently to the Manchester United team. Bruno Fernandes has gone off the boil. Cristiano Ronaldo, United can't even get out of their own half. So what is Ronaldo going to do? He's 38 years old. He's stuck there up top on his own. We're going to talk about him a little bit more later on. But Pulisic to Man United, to me, makes quite a lot of sense. And I'm not really worried about Manchester United competitively for the positions that Chelsea are after. I know a statement like that when we're talking about a club as big as Manchester United could easily come and bite me in the arse because, yeah, Man United are currently bottom of the league. They've got Liverpool next week, which at the moment, anyone who thinks anything other than a Liverpool win, despite Liverpool being winless as well, is probably going to be barking up some kind of crazy tree that's got a load of mold-infested bark wrapped around it. So Man United are in crisis. And I don't necessarily think it is the manager who is at fault for this, but everything that's been going on at that club for many years, right from the top all the way down, has been a disaster. Erik ten Hag at the moment is not really being backed the way that he would like to be able to create a Manchester United team to be competitive. Christian Pulisic would get game time at Manchester United. Do I worry about United competitively? Not right now. So normally, if it was a player of Pulisic's undoubted ability going to a Premier League rival, I would normally be like, this doesn't make any sense. But at the moment, I wouldn't say United are rivaling Chelsea. So for Pulisic to stay in the Premier League, get minutes at a top club, I think it bodes well for any kind of future that we might see him have at Chelsea. I know this one is going to be debatable amongst some of you. Some of you might think that I'm jumping the gun, and after 2 defeats, maybe we can't rule off a Man United resurgence. Maybe. I definitely see that. It could happen. I just don't think it will. So for Pulisic to remain in the Premier League, to still be playing against the aggressive, combative Premier League defenders, means that I could still see, if that goes successfully, a future for Pulisic at Chelsea. I've never doubted his ability, but I get it. It is a World Cup year. Players need to be playing so that they're in tip-top shape for the biggest sporting competition in the world. Christian Pulisic to Man United. United are interested. They're also interested in Callum Hudson-Odoi and Hakim Ziyech. Now, I hope that Chelsea don't offload any more than one of these three to Manchester United, because all three are good players. Erik ten Hag, Hakim Ziyech, that one seems to make a bit of sense. There's the Ajax link in there. You've also got Hudson-Odoi, who I think at this moment, there's really no chance that Hudson-Odoi makes the World Cup squad. But with less than 2 weeks to go until the end of the transfer window, you do wonder if Callum might just take a look at Man United and think, well, I don't know where I'm going to get regular minutes here at Chelsea. And if there's any chance, then being a player for Manchester United gives me all the chance in the world to maybe make a last-ditch attempt to get a World Cup squad spot in Southgate's England team. I do think that Chelsea need to be careful with this Manchester United interest in all three of these players. If it was me, I would maybe try and sell Hakim Ziyech. I don't think Ziyech's going to necessarily go in there and fix Manchester United. I think there is so much that needs to be done at that club for me to sit here and genuinely tell you that I'm concerned about United's interest in three of Chelsea's attackers, because I don't want them to get better and compete. I think they're so far away from that it's crazy. But we move into Cesar Cassaday. Italian pronunciations. I don't want to sit here and do an impression of Italian in case I offend anybody, because there's a lot of people that do get very easily offended on the internet. But Chelsea have completed the signing of a very exciting Italian midfielder from Milan. He is only 19 years of age, and it is part of a big plan that Todd Boehly has at Chelsea with Thomas Tuchel right now to not only improve the first team, but to be buying players who have significant backing behind them statistically, and also through the data-driven analysis that Chelsea Boehly are currently working on, so that we're making signings for the future. The brilliant thing about Chelsea doing this in the now is that we're buying players that have serious interest from other top European clubs. So with the vision of Todd Boehly to move Chelsea forward not only now, but for the future as well, continuously bringing in players like Amari Hutchinson, Gabriel Slonina, Chukwuemeka, now Casadei as well. Chelsea are investing heavily in players that have already performed at a top level. We're not just going and nicking players from academies. We're buying already, not established, but working towards being established players, with then being able to loan them out. Some of them might be involved in the first team squad. Slonina's back in Chicago. Will come back in January. Depending on what happens with Kepa, we might see him go out on loan again, or we see him stay in the squad. But with Casadei, what I really like about this guy, I've watched a few videos of him. Obviously, he's 19 years old. He's been playing a lot of youth football. This guy can score headers. I don't know if you guys have seen the videos, but this guy scores a lot of headers. He arrives in the box very, very late. Sometimes he's in the box already with the striker. I think he could be a fantastic player for the future. I know it's very, very soon to say that with any kind of distinct integrity, because we've not seen him play professional minutes. But at the same time, this is a really, really good sign for Chelsea, because we're already signing players for now, which is why it excites me that we're not just buying players for right now. In Todd Boehly's first summer, it would have been very easy to just maybe make 3 or 4 signings, replace a couple of the defenders that we want. We still want Fofana. I'm not going to bore you with any more info on that. Leicester are holding out for lots of money. The later it goes in the window, chances are they're still going to hold out for lots of money. Chelsea are buying players that immediately walk in and improve our first team squad. Sterling assist, Cucurella assist, Koulibaly goal in one match the other day. It's absolutely phenomenal. Chelsea have bought top quality Premier League talent and world-class players, which is fantastic. We're still looking to buy more. Pierre Emerik Aubameyang is still wanted by Chelsea Football Club. Barcelona want 30 million euros. Chelsea have reportedly gone in with 27 million euros. Manchester United are also interested in Aubameyang, but Aubameyang only wants Chelsea. Xavi wants to keep him at Barcelona, which could make negotiations difficult, considering how we know that Barcelona have been operating this summer. Might not have much money, but they're certainly going out and spending it. Aubameyang, at this moment in time, is open to a move to Chelsea. And after what we saw at the weekend, a striker, like a proper out-and-out striker, no disrespect to Havertz, I thought he played well. But that big chance, there was one massive save from Hugo Lloris, but that one that is basically in the 6-yard box that he manages to hit wide. Aubameyang scores that. Chelsea win the game. We're talking about proper strikers here. Kai Havertz has still got to adapt to being a number 9. I don't think he's naturally a number 9. Talented, brilliant footballer, yes. But a natural number 9, yeah, Emerik Aubameyang is that. And as an option, even at 33 years old, with his Premier League record, he has scored everywhere he's been in his career. I think Aubameyang could make Chelsea contenders. If Tuchel can get the best out of him, which he's already done before, then I think Chelsea become contenders. At the weekend, refereeing decisions, yes. But also, being able to finish those chances and having more shots on goal is massively important for Chelsea to take it to the next level. And I want to finish this by discussing and asking for you guys to give me your opinions on this in the comments down below. Cristiano Ronaldo, even though he said the truth is coming out in a couple of weeks, he's staying at Manchester United by the looks of things, United are in a serious crisis. We mentioned it earlier when we talk about Christian Pulisic going. Surely it isn't too late with 13 days left of the transfer window. Is it possible for Thomas Tuchel to backtrack on the comments that he made saying that he doesn't want to go for Ronaldo? Cristiano Ronaldo wins Chelsea that football game against Spurs. Cristiano Ronaldo in a Chelsea team who are progressive, who were aggressive at the weekend, going forward. Cristiano Ronaldo is the focal point striker that makes Chelsea immediately better. We talk about Aubameyang. I'd like to see Aubameyang. Ronaldo, for me, even at 38 years old, yes, there is so much more, I'd say, good baggage that would come with Ronaldo. The economic boost it would give to Chelsea financially, it would be absolutely massive. The global appeal of the club, which is already globally recognised as one of the world's top clubs. Signing Cristiano Ronaldo brings you in 50 million Instagram followers for a start. Chelsea got to maybe think about all of these little extra caveats too. And maybe Thomas Tuchel, after seeing it at the weekend, might think, well, yeah, we're getting the ball into the final third, but then it is when it gets in and around the box that we are wasteful, profligate, you could say at times at the weekend too. Is Ronaldo going to improve that? Absolutely yes. And my final question for you lot, in the comments now, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang for 30 million, or do we test the resolve of Man United? Do we test Cristiano Ronaldo in what could be, every year might be his final year now at the top level? He's going to be thinking about that, looking, wondering, do I want to be in a relegation scrap at a broken football club, or do I want to join a team who certainly look like they're going to be challenging at the top of the league, and I'll probably be the number 1 striker? If I was Cristiano, my head would be seriously turned by Chelsea. There's already been talks between the agent and Todd Boehly. It's up to Thomas Tuchel. Tuchel didn't want him a couple of weeks ago, which is why we didn't progress with going for him. Aubameyang or Ronaldo? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this Chelsea news video today. Come on, you Blues.